First Thessalonians 5:11. Therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. Alright, this day has been boring. um, been a little bit stir crazy, cabin fever type thing. I got basically all my YouTube videos caught up. There's nothing on tonight, so I had nothing to watch. So I watched some Netflix. Let's see. When I didn't comb my hair either. I just let it go and then just went like that. And this is what happens. About the same as what you normally see. All that light shining at it makes it really seem thin right here, which it is, but it doesn't look that way normally. So maybe a downside after all. I was thinking maybe I don't have to worry about combing my hair anymore. I just let it go and then I just go with a swoop and it's there. I don't know. Swoop, there it is. That's what it is. Yes, that's the title for the video. Swoop, there it is. So I watched The Machine, which is a British movie, I'm pretty sure. It did not have a Hollywood feel to it. It had more of a British feel to it. About this secret, takes place, I guess, a little in the future. It's kind of inspecific, but it's like there was another Cold War, and China is something to be worried about, and so you got the British government with secret scientific facilities that are part of the military also, where they're experimenting on people that were injured in the military with like brain things, trying to fix brain damage or amputations or loss of limbs or things like that. And the process turns these people who they work on mute, so they can't speak. But it turns out they can speak, and they can communicate telepathically with each other. Anyway, that's kind of a minor point compared to what happens. So he hires this American who's been working on this computer, because the guy who's been heading up the research, the scientist, I should say, who's heading up the research, because there's a government official who's heading up the facility, and he's not a good guy, basically. Anyway, so she gets this, so they're working together. He's like imprinting her brain and things like that, and they're using in conjunction with her computer and his information. But then in a attack by the Chinese, a spy attack or whatever, she gets killed. So he decides to use all this information to create an artificial life, and it turns out to be a life, being fully self-aware and things like that. When he makes it in her image, and so basically they just put the person in the other role. But she does a really good job portraying a robot, cyborg, whatever it is we're going with. I guess cyborgs, but a more realistic term. Because everything about her seems real, except maybe even her eyes at times. At times it doesn't. And she acts strangely, and her hair is pulled back tight. And that's an aspect that looks kind of fake, was the hair. And I think that's what they're going for, but they didn't have to go for it because they went so realistic everywhere else. Why would they have trouble with hair? Doesn't make sense to me there. Anyway, so she goes more and more self-aware, and then the subplot is that this head scientist has a daughter who has a brain disability or disease, a disease, because she's fine at one point and then she suddenly is kind of like a vegetable, I guess. doesn't talk, just looks around and moves. So she's moving, but she's not cognizant of what's going on. And so he's trying to figure out how to. And so why he's working for the government, this government that's doing all these bad things. Sorry, my back was itching. I decided to use the bookshelf, but it didn't work. Is to find a way to help his daughter ultimately. And that's his motivation. Along the way, his daughter winds up dying. But he's scanned his daughter into the system. Anyway, the official in charge of the facility decides he's tired of tiptoeing around with the cyborg. They never actually name her. They just keep calling her the machine or machine. Yeah, machine is what they keep calling her. So he decided he's not gonna tiptoe around without machine anymore. So he starts doing things to make her be the weapon that he intended her to be. He's got a hidden program inside her that he gets her to activate and things like that. And so then ultimately he blackmails the head scientist into removing part of the brain of the machine so that she is less human and more weapon. And so he convinces her to play along and act like she is that machine that they want him to be. And he goes in and the blackmail, I'm getting all turned around and stuff. The blackmail is that he will erase the scans of the scientist's daughter. If Vincent, that's the scientist's name. Vince or Vincent or something. And so he is going to erase all the scans of his daughter, basically taking away what's left of his daughter from him. And really, there's no reason for him to do it. He's the bad guy, I guess. He has to be evil. Anyway, so they play along for a while, and then the machine has managed to make contact with the telepathic communication of all of the experimented on former soldiers and things. And so she gets them to side with her against all the soldiers and everything, and so you end up with this like crazy firefight or whatever. She's basically bulletproof and super strong, so she's just tearing through everything. She withstands a grenade explosion with like it's nothing. So ultimately she gets to go outside. They save the information on the daughter, and the plan is, I guess, to eventually find a way to resurrect the daughter in a similar way as Machine. It's a good movie, and I thought I'd just go ahead and describe it to you. I'm watching another movie now called The Void. Premise, I'm not finished with it yet, but the premise is that there's this scientist that doesn't care at all about human life, it would seem. He just wants to push his agenda and create basically atomic bombs that are atom-sized, but there's lots of danger involved in that, and so the main character, I gather is the main character, is trying to expose him and also get him to stop the experiments and stuff he's going to do, because it's super dangerous, because he'd done it once before and it killed her father. And so I don't have much else to add to that because I haven't finished watching it, but I'm enjoying it as well. I've always liked small scale, not small scale, but lower budget, not over the top blockbusters, but like lower budget disaster films and things that involve using science and stuff to try to explain things, and also robotic things or whatever. Science fiction, basically. So, yeah. So I'm going to go back to this while this is processing. So, tomorrow's library. And today was a slow day. So, for myself and my 3 amigos, good night, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.